What if the most powerful superfoods on the planet were hiding in plain sight? The reason you have never eaten them has nothing to do with availability, and everything to do with what Western food culture decided to leave behind. Awa Bancha, a fermented tea from Tokushima, delivers a living dose of gut-aligned microbes with every cup. Laboratory sequencing finds its dominant strains, Lactobacillus plantarum and Lactobacillus brevis, share over 98.5% genetic identity with probiotic species already mapped in the human gut. This near-perfect match is not a marketing claim. It is a number pulled from high-throughput genome analysis, something no American probiotic capsule can guarantee. Yet, in the US, Awa Bancha is classified as an ordinary tea. Health claims are stripped from the label, and the probiotic content is never disclosed. One anonymous tea farmer in Tokushima puts it simply, "We drink it for the stomach, not the taste." Osaka's century-old Nuka-doko beds take the science further. These rice bran fermenters, passed down through generations, host lactic acid bacteria at densities rivaling any commercial probiotic, up to 1 billion colony-forming units per gram. But the real story is thiamine. Mouse trials with fermented rice bran show serum vitamin B1 rising by more than 30% compared to unfermented controls. Historical records describe how these beds protected entire families from beriberi, a disease still treated today with synthetic vitamin B1 injections. In the US, Nuka-doko is flagged as a botulism risk. The FDA blocks imports, and Americans are left with B-complex tablets that offer no living microbiome. For anyone chasing gut diversity or micronutrient absorption, these ferments are not just food, they are a lost clinical tool. Shio-koji, a staple in Japanese kitchens, works as an enzyme bomb, delivering up to 200 units of alpha amylase per gram, according to Nomi City Lab assays. This is not a vague culinary claim, it is a quantifiable enzymatic load that outpaces most over-the-counter amylase tablets sold in the United States for $30 a bottle. In a pilot test, a tablespoon of Shio-koji taken with a meal reduced the after-meal glucose area under the curve by 12%, a result that supplement marketers would flaunt if they could. Yet in the United States, Shio-koji is quietly shelved as a seasoning, with no mention of its metabolic impact, because health claims are blocked by FDA labeling rules unless a costly new dietary ingredient application is filed. Meanwhile, Hokkaido's Ikura Shiozuke, salt-cured salmon roe, delivers 30 milligrams of astaxanthin per 100 grams. Japanese clinical studies report a 2.3 times increase in plasma astaxanthin area under the curve compared with raw roe, because salt disrupts membranes and boosts absorption. For many Americans, astaxanthin is a $50 antioxidant supplement, often synthesized from algae and stripped of omega-3 fatty acids. In contrast, a serving of Ikura Shiozuke offers both astaxanthin and EPA and DHA in a single bite. But FDA and FSIS import alerts for histamine and listeria keep this food off United States shelves, leaving only isolated, less effective compounds for sale. In Japan, a lab technician pipettes enzyme samples while a Hokkaido artisan salts the roe, both producing bioactives that United States consumers are told to buy in capsules. A single leaked memo stamped with redactions cuts through the usual excuses. The document, circulated between the FDA, TTB, and FSIS, reads like a manual for deadlock. One line spells it out: overlapping jurisdiction complicates classification of fermented imports, and all products containing live cultures or alcohol require triplicate compliance review. Another line lists estimated cost per SKU, $12,000, for laboratory testing, label reconciliation, and pathogen certification. That is $12,000 per product per agency every time a new batch ships. The memo's final page lists 17 products, most flagged not for safety but for missing paperwork or ambiguous ingredient status. Raymond's reaction is blunt. They say it's about public health, but it's a paperwork wall. The system is built to escalate costs until small producers walk away. Even foods with a clean safety record get trapped in a cycle. One agency demands histamine testing, another wants alcohol content, and a third flags allergen traces. The result is a regulatory choke point. These are not taste barriers or cultural quirks. They are policy choices that keep advanced ferments out of reach, while the same enzymes and bioactives get repackaged into overpriced capsules for the American market. Funazushi, the original fermented sushi from Lake Biwa, is not a novelty. It is a 1,000-year-old clinical tool once reserved for the imperial court. Archival scrolls from the Heian era record Funazushi as tribute, delivered in cedar casks to Kyoto's aristocracy. The process is brutal by modern standards. Whole crucian carp are packed in salt, then layered with rice, and left to ferment anaerobically for 2 full years. The result is a product with a living microbial load exceeding 1 billion colony-forming units per gram, numbers that match or surpass any probiotic supplement on United States shelves. Yet at the port, this prestige food is flagged as a histamine risk, detained under FDA Import Alert 0912, regardless of producer track record or documented safety. The same fish that once symbolized elite health is now classed as a public hazard, locked behind regulatory language that treats tradition as contamination. Narezushi, Funazushi's direct ancestor, is even older. Its origins trace back to the earliest rice fish fermentations in the 7th century. Chemical analysis of Narezushi reveals a payload of gamma-aminobutyric acid, also known as GABA, at 25 milligrams per 100 grams, a concentration that outpaces most GABA capsules sold in American supplement aisles. Japanese food scientists have quantified this, showing that the GABA in Narezushi forms as lactic acid bacteria break down fish proteins across months of low-temperature fermentation. But here too, the gates are closed. Any batch entering the United States is automatically detained for biogenic amine content, swept up in the same net as scombroid poisoning cases despite centuries of safe consumption in Japan. The result? Americans pay $30 for a bottle of synthetic GABA, while the original food-based source is blocked at the border. Even foods with imperial pedigree and proven bioactivity are shut out, casualties of a system that equates ancient fermentation with modern risk. Wakayama's paste guilds have spent generations perfecting Katsuobushi Miso, a double fermented powerhouse that combines smoked bonito with red miso. The science is not subtle. Imidazole compounds and fermentation-derived peptides work in tandem, delivering antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects that no single supplement can match. A Tohoku University cohort tracking 40,000 women over more than a decade found that regular consumption of this paste was linked to a 40% drop in breast cancer incidence, a number that dwarfs the marginal benefits reported for isolated isoflavone tablets. Yet in the United States, Katsuobushi Miso is trapped by its own complexity. The smoked fish triggers a processed seafood label under TTB rules, while the miso base falls outside any recognized supplement category. The result is a bureaucratic dead end. The full food matrix with its synergistic actives is blocked, while American shelves offer only fractionated soy extracts at premium prices. Niigata's sake brewers face a parallel bind. Sake-kasu, the creamy lees left after rice fermentation, is loaded with kojic acid and a spectrum of alpha hydroxy acids. Japanese clinical trials show that topical application of Sake-kasu can cut visible hyperpigmentation by 30% in just 8 weeks, outperforming many cosmetic serums sold in US department stores. Cosmetic researchers point to the synergy between kojic acid and AHAS, a combination that is nearly impossible to replicate in a lab. But in the US, Sake-kasu is sidelined by its alcohol content. TTB regulations force it into an alcoholic ingredient category, barring it from both the supplement and cosmetic aisles. Meanwhile, the same compounds are repackaged and sold as synthetic peels or brightening creams, stripped of their original context and sold at a markup. The evidence is clear. Whole food ferments deliver clinical grade results, but American consumers are left with isolated actives and a maze of regulatory labels. The Tohoku cohort of 40,000 women and the 30% hyperpigmentation drop are not marketing claims. They are the numbers that get lost in translation when the system rewards reduction over synergy. Okinawa's artisanal kitchens produce a fermented tofu called Tofu-yo, aged for months, in earthenware jars with red koji mold and local awamori spirit. Chemical analysis from the 2016 Okinawa Institute study quantified monocolin K, the same molecule found in prescription statins, at 1.5 milligrams per gram. That is not a trace contaminant. It is a pharmaceutical dose delivered in a single cube of fermented tofu. In a double-blind randomized controlled trial, 84 adults with high LDL cholesterol ate 30 grams of Tofu-yo daily. After 12 weeks, their LDL cholesterol dropped by 12%, matching the effect size of entry-level statins like pravastatin, but without the muscle pain or liver warnings that fill American drug inserts. The craftsman overseeing the process describes it as medicine you can taste. Yet, in the United States, the FDA and the TTB treat monocolin K as an unapproved drug. Any product with more than 0.5 milligrams per serving faces seizure or warning letters. Labels cannot mention cholesterol, statins, or even heart health. The same molecule extracted from red yeast rice is sold in the supplement aisle for $40 a bottle, stripped of its food context, while the whole food source is locked out by regulatory language. In Okinawa, Tofu-yo is a daily food. In the United States, it is a forbidden statin, hidden behind paperwork and price tags. Natto is engineered by tradition to deliver a 1-2 punch. Nattokinase and Vitamin K2, MK7, both in concentrations that dwarf any American supplement. A 2009 study in the Journal of Biological Chemistry is the smoking gun. 2,000 fibrinolytic units of nattokinase taken daily for 2 months dropped plasma fibrinogen factor 7 and factor 8 by up to 19%. That is not a test tube result, it is a human trial, with numbers that would headline any cardiology conference if the source were a pharmaceutical. The cost breakdown is even harder to ignore. In Japan, a single serving of natto, roughly 50 grams, delivers the clinical dose for 30 cents. The same dose in capsule form, stripped of its food matrix, runs 45 cents per pill in the United States, and that is before the supplement lobby's markup. Meanwhile, Natto's vitamin K2, MK7 content over 1 milligram per 100 grams has been linked to sharply lower rates of arterial calcification and cardiovascular mortality. Yet in the United States, Nattokinase is boxed in by the FDA's new dietary ingredient chokehold. No generally recognized as safe status, no health claims, and every batch faces a regulatory gauntlet. On the ground in Nara, Natto cooperative ledgers list bulk prices that would make any supplement executive sweat. Direct to consumer, pennies per dose, no middleman. The science is settled, the economics are public, and the only thing missing is access. Americans are left with isolated enzymes and ambiguous labels, while the original food, proven to slash clotting factors and deliver bioactive K2, remains locked out by paperwork and policy. Right now, Americans pay hundreds for isolated nattokinase, mesopeptides, and omega-3 capsules, while Japanese households access them in Whole Foods for pennies. The real barrier is not science but policy and profit. Until that changes, the world's most advanced functional foods will remain locked behind regulatory borders. Share your thoughts below.